Tīvrasaṁvegānām āsannaḥ. This verse from Yoga Sutra emphasizes the power of intense longing or urgency in spiritual practice. In simpler terms, the verse explains that when practitioners have a strong and urgent longing for spiritual growth, progress on the spiritual path becomes imminent and likely. du-madhyā-dhimātratvāt tato'pi viśeṣaḥ. This verse from Yoga Sutra explains that progress in spiritual practice can vary based on the intensity of one's effort. In simpler terms, this verse explains that spiritual progress depends on how intense your practice is. If you practice with mild, moderate, or intense effort, the results and progress will differ accordingly. Īśvarapraṇidhānād. This verse from Yoga Sutra offers an alternative path to achieving spiritual progress. It suggests that surrendering to Īśvara or a higher power is another way to reach the goal of yoga. In simpler terms, the verse explains that besides intense practice, another way to make spiritual progress is by surrendering to a higher power or the divine. This act of dedication can help you reach your spiritual goals. Klesha-karma vipāka āśayaiṛ aparāmrishtaḥ purusha viśeṣaḥ Īśvaraḥ. This verse from Yoga Sutra describes the nature of Īśvara or the Supreme Being. The verse explains that Īśvara, the Supreme Being, is different from everyone else because Īśvara is not affected by problems, actions, their outcomes, or the mental traces they leave. Tatra niratishayam sarvagya bijam. This verse from Yoga Sutra highlights a unique attribute of Īśvara, the Supreme Being. It explains that Īśvara possesses an unparalleled seed of omniscience, meaning complete and all-encompassing knowledge. In simpler terms, the verse explains that within Īśvara, the Supreme Being, lies the source of knowledge, which is unmatched by anyone or anything else. Purveshāmapi guruho kālenāna vachedāt. This verse from Yoga Sutra highlights the timelessness and supreme authority of Īśvara. In simpler terms, the verse explains that Īśvara, the Supreme Being, is the teacher of all teachers, including those from ancient times, because Īśvara is not limited by time. This makes Īśvara an eternal and ultimate guide. Tasya vācakah pranavah. This verse from Yoga Sutra tells us how to represent or express Īśvara, the Supreme Being. In simpler terms, the verse explains that the sound Om is a special way to represent and connect with Īśvara, the Supreme Being. Tajjapastadarthabhavanam. This verse from Yoga Sutra emphasizes the practice of chanting Om, Tajjapa, and deeply contemplating its significance, Tadarthabhavanam. In simpler terms, the verse explains that by chanting Om and thinking about its meaning, one can advance on their spiritual journey. Tatah pratyakchetanādhigamopyantarāya bhāvascha. This verse explains that by chanting and meditating on the sound Om, a person can achieve two important things: realization of inner consciousness and freedom from obstacles. When you practice saying Om regularly, it helps you focus and connect deeply with your inner thoughts and feelings. This practice makes it easier to overcome challenges in life and stay on the path of yoga. Vyati sthyana samshaya pramadalasya avirati bhranti darshana alabdha bhumikatva anavastitatvani chittavikshepāsteyantarāyaha. This verse lists the problems that can stop you from concentrating and meditating well. They are disease, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, sensuality, false perception, failure to reach firm ground, slipping from ground gained. These obstacles can make it hard to meditate and stay focused. Recognizing them helps you work on overcoming them to improve your practice. Thank you.